Can you tell us where we are in terms of appointing a Chief Firearms Officer, whether you've made the decision to press ahead with that, and what changes specifically you would hope to see under a provincially appointed officer rather than one picked by the RCMP?
We have a motion before the legislature that is being debated to support the creation of an Alberta Chief Firearms Officer, a prerogative that the province has had but not exercised since the adoption of Bill C-69 back in, I think, 1995. Other provinces have used that power to create Chief Firearms Officers. It is our intention to do that. I anticipate the government will, side of the House will pass that motion in the days to come. Again, this comes back to what I said earlier, that often personnel is policy. By appointing an Alberta Chief Firearms Officer, we believe we can have somebody who, while obviously committed to upholding the law, will do so in a way that focuses enforcement on criminal misuse of firearms rather than regulatory harassment of safe, legal, law-abiding farmers and duck hunters. Our view is the Government of Canada is missing the target. If it wants to reduce criminal gun abuse of firearms in Canada, criminal misuse of firearms, they should be redoubling efforts to interdict the importation of illicit firearms, primarily from the United States. The data, the evidence is clear. It's the significant majority of firearms used in criminal acts in Canada are firearms that were smuggled in from the United States. They are not hunting rifles used by rural Albertans, for example. They are overwhelmingly firearms brought in across the U.S. border. And so if the federal government were really serious about tackling that kind of gun crime, which tends to be fueled mainly by drug gangs, then they should be focusing on the border crossings and on those illicit firearms being smuggled into the country. And so telling law-abiding firearms owners who have a perfect record, by the way, who have acquired their firearms based on their firearms acquisition certificate, based on continued monitoring, people who are law-abiding, safe, respectful, upright citizens, to tell them that their firearms are going to be seized or criminalized because some gangs down east are importing weapons across the border makes no sense.